Hi, my name is Katie McGrath and I play Morgana on BBC's Merlin. I want to welcome you to set in France, and today I'm going to give you a bit of a tour, show you the castle. So here we are at the front of the castle, and this is basically to prove to you that it is in fact not CGI. It's been here for quite a long time, but in about the 1840s, 1860s, the same man who redid Notre Dame in Paris is a man called Viollet-le-Duc, reimagined it as sort of the romantic reimagining of a medieval castle. They wanted me to get that in there. So, you know, every time you see us on the battlements and we look really, really high and we're looking down over the fields, those are the battlements. All of about 3.5 feet off the ground. Yeah. Not quite so scary now, is it? It's not your fault. Yesterday this was full of guests and costumes and food and flowers. I mean, absolutely packed out. And what I love about this is how quickly they can put it together and how quickly they can pull it apart. You can see it. Apparently they just chuck all these out as well. Do you really just chuck them all out, all the flowers?
Sorry.
What's this?
Take them out.
Yeah, I'll stick them in my car and take them to my hotel room. No worries. If you guys remember episode 12 where Colin and I are pulling Tony along and getting chased by Median Knights, that's that corridor there. That was the episode where we all got injured, actually. I injured my shoulder, Colin fell, Bradley injured his back pulling Tony around. See, on paper it sounds really easy, you know, we spend 3/4 of the scene pulling a full-grown man around. There's always that difficulty of, like, timing it before you run out of it, and I'm really bad at it. If you try doing these narrow spaces with guards with a 6-foot-long cloak, when Tony has a cloak too, it's just actually a comedy. Cameraman running backwards, you're with everything. It's not good. Those are some good outtakes, and you know how all my outtakes have got to do with me falling? It's the one where I tried to kill Uther the first time. But there's a scene in here, and it's there was the table here in Uther, and I came in. It's one where Gwen's dad died. That one. But that was here, all filmed here, and it was beautiful with all the light coming in through. It was just gorgeous. This is John Hurt, pre-nose job with John Hurt there. Nothing in the castle disappoints, but this is the one. It was the first place that we filmed when we got here, and en masse we were all speechless when we walked in. I'm always on the left-hand side of the king, because left is slightly dark, and Arthur's always on the right, because he's the right-hand man, so good and evil. Notice that? Yeah. And I remember one day a director came in and put us on the opposite sides, and we were all kind of freaked out, going, I don't know how to feel wrong.
Did you feel good?
No. Have you not ever noticed in Merlin, anybody who's slightly dark and magical, or no, actually anybody who's magical has dark hair, pale eyes, and pale skin? We have massive conversations about who's the hottest. We're sitting here some days, and it's like, so, which one? If you had to. The boys are like, which one would you? So as we go along, you'll see quite a lot of mythical creatures from Merlin occur around the castle, because after our first series and being here, the producers and directors kind of picked out quite a lot of the statues, and they end up as monsters in the show. So the castle really does become part of the show and give into it, and, you know, creates part of the Merlin myth. I know you can't actually see those right now, but these are actually the stairs down to Johnny the Dragon, down here. Great dragon stairs. I mean, can you see it? Not at all. So these are copies of a lot of the statues that will be on the tombs of the kings of France. And I think it's episode 1 of season 2. We use them, and they're all looking at us. Oh my god!
Which step?
I know. Do you need the snot coming down your face? Oh god, no! That does not look good. But I mean, it's so hard to make the show ugly when you're filming around here. You know, it just becomes, and it sets the tone for what we do back home, I think, as well, because it is so gorgeous and so elegant and so magical. Apparently, this was designed to relay messages to the top of the tower, because that originally would have been open all the way to the top, and it was so you could speak softly and relay your messages without the enemy hearing. Look at that. Look how smart they were. Nice. But I wish you could stand here, because it's really quite freaky.
Is it me who gets it?
Yeah, you talk.
Oh, that's really impressive, isn't it?
All right. Well, listen. I hope you've enjoyed your tour. You've seen most of the castle, and pretty much you had a tour of the Merlin bits of the castle. So, I hope it's meant that you want to come out and visit and see it for yourselves. But keep on watching, because I'm sure this series we will find more bits to use that we haven't even seen before. But thank you, Digital Spy, and thank you for coming.